going to call the LaPorte County Redevelopment Commission meeting for Wednesday, February 23rd at 4 p.m. to order. If everybody please stand for the pledge. Mike?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I also want to take a minute just to recognize that keeping Tony Rodriguez in our prayers. His dad passed away this morning, and also Connie Grammeros's mother passed away yesterday, so she's not here today. So everybody, please keep them in your prayers. Roll call, Mary Jane.
Randy Novak,
Yes.
Joe Core,
Yes.
Rich Merzinski,
Present.
Terry Larson, Scott Cooley, Connie Grammarosa, Michael Rosenbaum,
Present.
Jan Ryberty. Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Approval of today's agenda.
I'd like to make, we have a correction. I'd like to make a motion to make an addition under number 10, add the letter D, and we'll put the Rail and Maritime Summit.
And that's a motion.
That's the motion.
Second. Seconded by Joe. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Public comment. Public comment is now open. Anybody from the public? Anybody from the public? Anybody on Zoom? Public comment? Public.
Are we supposed to have Ice Miller on the line too with us? Eventually.
Might be. Public comment is now closed. Communications, Mary Jane?
Communications for the month, Barnes & Thornburg regarding their invoices. Barnes & Thornburg requested a copy of the signed bond council agreement for 35 TIF. The Rail Summit information, which you have received, auditor for the treasurer's report, and then we also had a discussion with the auditor regarding that Carl helped us with regarding the TIF increment allocations for 2021. The special meeting for February arrangements, the Comcast KIP agreement, or if that's the right word for it, I'm not sure, Shaw. That's in your consideration tonight. Senator Dalton bond issue, calls with Matt regarding the special meeting and this meeting. Grammarosa emails just to confirm her email address and get her caught up, copies of minutes and agendas and things. Jeff Mays from the Herald Argus regarding the special meeting being Zoom only. Conversations with Ice Miller from 421 regarding the bond issue, as well as the agreement from the underwriter. Work with the Herald Argus for the legal notice publication for the claims, as well as the public hearing that you have tonight. Viviana helped me with the special meeting Zoom arrangements. Mitch provided the D&M contracts that you'll be considering today. And then the LaPorte Community School Corporation has designated Jan Ryberty as their appointment to the Redevelopment Commission.
Great.
That's the end of communication.
Thank you. Minutes from our last meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other questions?
You have two sets of minutes. Do you want to take them separately or together? You have January, and then you have your special February meeting.
Special meeting, right? Motion to approve both.
Okay. Second both.
All right. Have a motion to approve both. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Thank you. Motion to adjourn? I'm just kidding.
Scott.
Second.
Let the record show Scott's.
Scott Cooley's here.
Treasurer's report. Mary Jane.
All right, here we go. Your treasurer's report is as follows. The US 421 allocation area number 1 balance is $635,695. US 421 allocation area 2 has a negative balance of $55,189. The reason for that is what I mentioned earlier under communications. Sender is preparing our annual report, so we'll probably know the final resolution of that, but it's suggested that some of the TIF increment that was deposited in December all of it was put in allocation area number 1 instead of being split between allocation area number 1 and 2. KIDC TIF balance is $62,112. 39 North TIF balance is $81,363. Please note that the auditor's office did transfer $10,000 from the Redevelopment Commission to the payroll for Mitch Bishop as requested. And we already discussed the TIF 2 balance for 421.
Sounds good.
That's the end of the report.
Is there a motion on the treasurer's report?
Motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Second.
Motion is second. Is there any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Claims tonight for the KIDC TIF. 1, Barnes and Thornburg, legal services invoice 2576-204 in the amount of $1,914. MCR Partners, February professional services in the amount of $3,000. Thomas and Associates, January professional services in the amount of $458.25. Friedman and Associates, litigation legal services invoice 10710 in the amount of $667.50, and Harold Argus January legal notice in the amount of $27.67 for a total of $6,067.42.
Motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any other questions on KIDC? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Next one is 421, number 1 TIF. Thomas and Associates, January professional services in the amount of $458.25. MCR Partners, February professional services in the amount of $2,000. Friedman and Associates, legal services in the amount of $1,500. Weaver Consultants Group, easement procurement, say that a bunch of times, services in the amount of $19,856.45, and those are invoices 55536, 55952, and 56632, for a total in that TIF of $23,814.70.
Motion to pay the claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other comments on that one? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Next one is 39 North, February MCR Partners, February Professional Services in the amount of $1,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So total claims today is $30,882.12. Moving on to
Should be old business.
old business. That's what I was looking for. We're missing the
Not numbered.
Scribner's error, or whatever. 1994 TIF. Matt.
Mr. Chairman, we'll handle that under new business, but we'll be wrapping up the bond issuance. We're going to have Lisa Lee be on the line to explain the legal end, and Carl will be there to talk about the finance. But I just want to let the body know that we were able to figure out a way through refinancing to save a few bucks and to be able to use those dollars back into infrastructure projects as opposed to paying higher interest. So kudos to the team for coming up with that, and that's all I have in 421 and 94.
Thank you. Let's go on to KIP update.
Mr. Chairman, Comcast would like a right of entry. I brought this up at the last meeting. We just want to make sure we have the right contract signed. We have. Attorney Friedman reviewed that, made sure we're okay, and they're going to be issuing a press release about their expansion into the business park. They're pretty excited about it. I know we are. We approached them, quite a few years ago, and Tony with the task force, the broadband task force, to kind of wake these folks up and I think a little bit of competition goes a long way in that industry, and suddenly we got some people's attention, and it's good that Comcast is going to spend some of their dollars to go ahead and make an investment there.
And I don't think, and again, the commission needs to know, we can't underestimate the impact, obviously, of having fiber out there and connectivity, because that's a huge issue with so many businesses out there. I know several of you have heard from businesses out there asking about improvements, so this is a huge move for the positive.
Cool.
Right, we need to approve this?
And you answered my question, it's fiber.
Yes.
So,
That's right. Yes, if you would. The proposed agreement will need to have consented to by the board.
is that under new or is that right here?
That's right.
Okay, second.
Right now, we just do it. Yeah, all right, motion.
Go
and-
ahead, Scotty. Yeah, I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve
The agreement.
the right-of-way easement for Comcast out at KIP. Is there any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That'd have to go to the commissioners too then, wouldn't it? Since they,
No, redevelopment has the
It's your
has the jurisdiction.
Don't we?
Yeah, because you've got all the authority
And
over
they're paying how much
connectivity,
for it?
rail connectivity, and fiber. So
You're in charge now.
You're good.
trying to cover bases.
Absolutely. Appreciate that.
Cover it now than to.
Yep.
That actually works.
All right, 39 North.
One other item, sir, under KIP. Just want to remind the commission of the Ready Grant. They're working their way through the process to figure out how those funds are to be spent. So they're getting their act together, and my understanding is in April those funds would become available. We've had conversations with gentlemen on both sides of the bridge, letting them know that their requirements of the project include trackage up to the rail. I know that Mr. Limborg has indicated to me that he's got in contact with the Via Rail to do the design to make sure that happens.
Up to the bridge?
Yep. So Ed's going this way, and JBC's going the other way.
And where
We're
we
the
at?
bridge people.
Where we at with the bridge? And just still,
That's what Via Rail is going to come back to us with a number too. We're going to.
so we still don't even have the firm number on it.
No, we're relying on the private sector to give us that information to make sure that we get a good number, and because they're financially participating in the project, I want to give them the opportunity to do so. I think that's the preferred method than hiring an engineering firm to do design in a vacuum while these guys are doing their thing.
So what's a projected date that we need to get what I would call serious about the bridge?
I'd say we got a handful of months here.
Right, all right. Sounds good. 39 North.
I think at the last meeting, we talked a little bit about two sizable projects that were going to take down property out there. We are working directly still with one. There was a request that was made to the city of LaPorte and to 39 North Conservancy District to come to an agreement to maintain future services and to work on getting a water tower. And we're waiting to hear back from a response from those collected parties. In conjunction with that, as everybody's aware, Mary Jane is still pursuing the 39 North grant. It's been filed. I will say, and this is anecdotally, we had a positive discussion with the EDA, and I'm slightly encouraged by their interest in the project. I know Mary Jane has worked really diligently on providing them what they were looking for, and quite candidly, at this point, I can't imagine they could need or require any further information, based on my understanding of what their charter is.
Right. Thank you, Matt.
Sean, do you have any?
Yeah, just informationally too, for members of the redevelopment that are members of the county council, I would anticipate that if we get favorable movement on the EDA grant, you combine that with the $250,000 that the Conservancy District has already committed, I would anticipate there may be a request for ARP funds similar to a couple of the other TIF areas. But again, I think 39 North is looking to get some other funds in hand through EDA before approaching the council. So that's kind of the anticipation at this point. And as Matt said, we've gotten good feedback from the agency. So
Yes.
hopefully we hear good things. So.
That's good.
Good thing.
Positive news is always good.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the next item, 35 TIF/94 TIF.
Speaking of positive news, the Plan Commission approved 9-0 last night. The order of the Plan Commission affirming that the Economic Development Area Plan for 35 and 94 is in compliance with the zoning ordinance. Thanks to Mitch Bishop for attending the meeting and explaining to the members the purpose of the procedure and what the Plan Commission was asked to do. So we're moving forward on that project. There will be some follow-up meetings with the Michigan City Water, Michigan City Sanitary as we get closer to discussions about design, and as with the the project that's driving this, which is hotel and some other items down there on the other side of the expressway. So moving along as it should. The next step on the process, I think, is the county council, and then I think we come back here. So I'm going to endeavor to get that done as soon as we can. I don't think we need to hit the next meeting of the county council. I think we're okay to wait till the March meeting.
Sounds good. Thank you. New business, TIF bond additional appropriations public hearing, MCR and Ice Miller.
I'm going to have a seat, and I'm going to let Lisa Lee drive us through these processes and walk us through the public hearing and so on related to the bonds. And Carl's also on the line to talk about that. So we'll likely handle that in one fell swoop, and then I'd ask the commission then to move forward with the contract for construction services. So I'm going to have a seat.
Thank you, Matt. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, this is Lisa Lee with Ice Miller, and we're serving as bond counsel for the commission on this financing. And I'm sure you recall that on February 16th, you held a special meeting to approve the bond resolution. That then got approved by the Board of Commissioners on February 16th, later that evening. So now we have published notice of the additional appropriation of the bond proceeds in the amount of $4.5 million, and we did come in under that based on some results that Carl will talk to you about. So this evening, what we're here to do is to hold the public hearing on the additional appropriation of the bond proceeds, and once that's completed, we would ask that you consider the adoption of Resolution 02-2022. What we are doing here is issuing bonds in the amount of just under $4.5 million to complete the construction of the infrastructure at the I-94 US Route 421 economic development area, but also, as Matt kind of alluded to, part of the structuring here that was necessary due to the two TIF areas is the current refunding of the county's outstanding taxable economic development revenue bonds of Series 2010 for the HPLRHS land development project. That project, those bonds were actually issued as taxable interest rate bonds. We were able to confirm what those proceeds were used for, and as bond counsel, we're able to say that we can issue these refunding bonds as tax exempt. So Carl's going to give you the good news on the interest rate and the moving forward with these bonds. But after Carl speaks, if the president would please open the public hearing, take public comment, and then close the public hearing, that would be fantastic.
Sounds good.
All right. Hey, thank you, Lisa, for the overview. And just this afternoon, we heard back from our underwriters, Landon Bain from Robert W. Baird. They have a commitment from First Merchants Bank to purchase these bonds for both purposes. The par amount right now is like at $4,469,000. It may get tweaked just slightly, but it will be under the 4.5. Their interest rate is 3.69% over the complete term of the bonds through 2040. It's just up a little higher than what we had initially been discussing. It was around 3.6, so we're just slightly higher, but in light of where we're at with the revenues in the district, I think this is a very good interest rate, and we can now move forward with the project with them. The only requirement that they have is there's a debt service reserve fund and their requirement is that the commission place those funds at their bank. It'll be in our name, and that's the only real contingency, if you will, requirement that they have. We still need to set a closing date. Tentatively, we're looking around March 9th. But with having this commitment today, I think this gives the commission hopefully good comfort that you can move forward with your construction contract. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Is there a call on it? What's a payoff, or is there a penalty, or are we allowed to?
I do not have that at my fingertips. I will get that for you. I believe we do have an ability to call those bonds, but I will have to follow up with you.
We do, and I'll pull that up as well, Carl, while they're holding the public hearing. But yes, there is a call provision, and I do believe it is without penalty.
Okay. Mike?
Yeah, I just also wanted to make sure that we state that we are, the bonds that we are refunding are at a 7% rate, and so therefore 3.69 is obviously much lower, and I want to make sure it's known publicly at our meeting, and to say thank you to everybody involved with that process. So a win-win.
Absolutely. And once
I
we
agree.
get this all done, if you could run a figure on what the difference between, the rest of the life on the one that we paid off at the higher interest rate, what that savings might be, that'd be great.
Will do.
Thank you.
And I would like to, I apologize, this is Lisa again, I would like to just also say that the company, Holiday Properties, that are part of the 2010 bonds, had to consent to that refunding, and they are willing to do that consent. So they're going from a 7% to just being, those bonds being paid off and now being held by First Merchants at 3.69.
Okay, great.
And I want to compliment Matt Reardon for going to Holiday and telling him that there was an offer they couldn't refuse. So we're pleased that Holiday has consented.
He let the record show he's from Lake County. So
That's right.
Yeah. Sounds great. So time for the public hearing. So at this time, we're going to open the public hearing. So public hearing is now open. Anybody from the public that would like to speak on Resolution 02-2022? Anybody from the public? Anybody from the public? Public comment is now closed.
At this point, we're to make a motion to pass the resolution 02-2022 for the additional appropriation.
Second.
Was that a motion?
That was a motion.
All right, I just want to make sure. All right, motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Resolution 02-2022 has been approved.
But we already got number C done.
Well, yeah, we do.
Carl and Lisa, are we set?
Yeah, so
Yes.
once we have a closing date, there will be some documents that I'm guessing members of the commission as well as the commission will need to sign, and Lisa will be getting those documents prior to closing.
Absolutely, yep. And I think March 9 works. I just want to confirm it internally, but that's one day, one way or the other, it will be the closing date.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And we took care of C also, the bond sale update. I think Carl gave us an update on that, right?
Yes,
Nothing else?
C is done.
Consideration of DNM excavating 421 I-94 MCR Partners.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the low bidder. The lowest, most responsive bidder was $4,903,525. Just to refresh the commission's memory, painfully, this project went back out to bid, and it cost, unfortunately, with pricing, the cost went up. And while that was unfortunate, it was necessary because we did not have the requisite amount of funding available, irrespective of the financial wizardry of Sender and Co. Critical to being able to do the project was the allocation of the funds from the county council, the $2 million. Without that, we wouldn't have been able to do the project. So just, well, you know, two of you are up there, so thank you very much. That really made the deal go forward. Without that, as I told a few members of the county council, we wouldn't be doing it. So that's how it all came together.
You know, we should note too, for the record, this represents collaboration between the commission, the council, and redevelopment on something that has been in the works for years. And you're finally accomplishing what many have said needed to be done in order to spur further commercial and industrial development south of I-94. And again, it's a perfect mark of collaboration between all three bodies.
And let's not forget our friends from Michigan City Water Department.
Yes.
That was,
Matt, did D&M meet all the other qualifications that needed to be met for the county?
I'm gonna defer to Mitch, the county planner. I know he
Yeah.
worked with our county engineer. So, Mitch, you're up.
Yeah. I have today, and I believe I sent you a copy, 96.
Yeah.
Everything that was required of them, they have met. And it's ready for signatures, actually.
I'll make a motion that we accept their bid and let's get them working.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Sounds great. Wow. Big project.
Yeah.
Anything else on that?
No, sir.
How about, next item is item D, the Rail Summit.
I'll make a motion that we get a table for the Rail Summit, and whoever would like to attend that table be allowed to do so. I certainly would like to go. I wasn't able to go last year.
I was also planning to.
What was that comment?
I don't
Wear
know.
your tie, he says.
Wear
And
a tie,
jacket
yeah, you gotta wear.
and slacks.
Yeah, they got a dress code, so.
The further west you go, the
Yeah.
Mike and I
dressed
know
up you
about the
gotta
dress
get.
code, don't we, Mike?
Yeah, you do. So,
Does it have to be around my neck?
do we need a
I'm not sure.
motion to, so let's do a motion to approve, and then whoever wants to go can go, and Mary Jane will set it up. We usually don't have that many people.
I'll make that motion.
And
All right.
I'll second it. Even
Any
if-
other questions or
Let's see.
comments? That we send a delegation to the Rail Summit? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Other business, is there any other business?
No, sir.
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. President,
What?
I want to ask a question here. Last night at the Plan Commission meeting, at the end of the meeting, Attorney Beege brought up something that was kind of startling about the possibility of a lithium battery facility. I just wondered if anybody else has heard anything about this. Apparently, they want to come to LaPorte County, and apparently we are kind of unprepared as far as having a ordinance about that. I didn't really realize the lithium battery fire is impossible to put out. I understand there's a ship in the ocean with lithium batteries on fire, and everything you got to do is burn out. I just wonder if anybody else in this meeting had heard anything about that possibility.
No, sir.
No. Let the record show, nobody here, is anybody?
No, I think. No.
I talked to Mitch about it a little bit this morning. We'll keep an eye out for that, but it's something that I mentioned at the meeting last night, Randy, that since you're the fire chief, you probably know more about lithium battery fire than I do, so might be something we might want to try to head off.
They're not fun. But it's, make sure, have them check that, make sure that's all we
But,
need to know.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, a couple other items that Attorney Friedman brought to my attention. Bounding around down in Indianapolis, there's some interesting bills. I'm not going to editorialize on those that aren't related to economic development, but I'm going to focus on those. There's a Senate Bill 361, which is a big bill that talks about creation of a super TIF and other items. And it sounds great on surface that you can create an area for mega projects and you can collect property tax, sales tax, and income tax. And I'm thinking to myself, well, the only kind of project that actually works for is if you're doing a mixed-use development. It doesn't work for industrial because it doesn't matter. and it doesn't work for housing because you don't have the other half. So I'm not quite sure what people have conjured up, but I will say this. Wouldn't be a bad thing around interchanges. There tends to be sales tax that occur around there. There wouldn't be any income tax benefits to speak of from the residential side, but there might be perhaps some from the business side. And where that sits, it's likely going to pass in some form. I think the House sponsor is Doc Brown, who's the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee. So you can bet that that's going to get somewhere. So we're keeping an eye on that. The troubling part, and I'll let Shaw speak to this, is it kind of erodes local control over these decisions, which is troublesome to AIM and troublesome to the, actually, the Chamber of Commerce also chimed in. That wasn't a good idea.
Well, and as Matt indicates, Representative Brown has a different view, I think, on economic development. For instance, his House Bill 1002 has been dramatically altered by the state Senate. House Bill 1002 would have taken personal property tax revenue that went to local government entities, given it to some of the largest corporations in the state in terms of a tax break. Fortunately, the state Senate majority has said no go, that they've got to protect local government. What the commission may want to consider is even going on record with this particular bill, because as it's currently constituted, any of that sales tax revenue could be diverted from the TIF district to anywhere else in the state. And so you can imagine how concerned local government is. It's like, okay, well, that's great. You've got a big new development, but the state brings in, it's, they call it a super TIF area.
Yes.
But what possible incentive would it be for local government to do that? Yes, you've got some job
So the
creation.
local government doesn't capture that sales tax?
Well, the control of the financing mechanism.
But the control of the TIF is by the state then.
Correct. So
Correct.
if you consent to
Can't be
this.
any interest.
You lose local government control at that point. And again, just an option for the commission to consider, but you could go on record in concern about that language. Other local government entities are doing so. They're going on record with resolutions saying, look, we like the idea of TIF development, but we certainly don't want to see sales tax revenue diverted to other parts of the state. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So
That wouldn't be right.
Well, they already do enough of that. So let's get right after it.
Right.
Local jurisdictions don't have access to any sales tax dollars as it is,
Right.
and then the only portion of income tax that we're allowed to use is those that we tax ourselves. So the fallacy that we're going to give you an income tax, the ability to utilize income tax for more economic development and infrastructure, is frankly not true. They don't. They didn't do that with the RDA projects. They only allow for the increase instead of all of it. So all the things that you can do already as a governmental unit is kind of wrapped up in some of this, except they're going to throw sales tax in as a benefit. And like I said, you already don't have any control of sales tax, so I'm not quite sure what's being offered here, except maybe loss of control of projects for a mega project. Well, I'd like to think that this county is well represented through its elected officials and its partners to be able to figure its own destiny out, and really doesn't need the help of our good friends from Indianapolis to take money that's generated locally and take it down there again. I just, even in my wildest Machiavellian scheming, I don't understand why this works for anybody. That's all I have to say.
I'm sure somebody's got something sketched out.
Somebody does.
This is how we're going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the commission's pleasure? Would you like to do a resolution opposing this?
even if you were to go on record, we could have a letter signed by the president sent down to our local legislative delegation indicating concern about loss of local control. That would be
Everybody
helpful.
good with that?
I'll make the resolution that we go on record with a letter to our local representatives to tell them that.
We have a motion and a second.
Yep.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed?
Good idea.
Good.
We'll get something drafted up, and then, as Shaw was talking about briefly, and this has an impact on county and all the units of government, was the personal property tax. I think that is, I think that's losing some steam down in Indianapolis. I think they're going to kick it down the road till next year. I would be, I'd have eyes wide open and ears perked what's happening next year in the budget session. Perhaps they want to figure out what to do with some of the $5 billion surplus and figure out how to grant those funds back to the local jurisdictions and the overlapping taxing authorities. But that's not sustainable over time. So it just leaves it's too much impact
Yep.
too fast to occur.
Great. All right.
Motion to adjourn.
There you go.
Second move.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Good job.